So recently we've been cleaning out a lot of my grandmommy's stuff, and I found a lot of those fabric sample books that you flip through when you're trying to decide like how to upholster your couch, what you want your curtains to look like, etc. And it's a lot of fabric within those little books. So I kind of want to try and make something out of them. My current idea is a robe, because I have this robe, another poly satin robe that I made, but I kind of want to make another one just for funsies. So I'm gonna try and do that with the fabric sample books that I have. So I started to organize all the ones that I picked out by color, because even though it is a lot of fabric, it's not necessarily like a human torso amount of fabric. It's probably about like 13 by 18 probably. So have them organized by color, and my method is to sew them together lengthwise and then maybe sew another panel widthwise, so I kind of have like a 2 by 2 little fabric area, because I think that'll fit my robe pattern pieces. Because I was originally going to do it in smaller little squares, but since these patterns are so big and I want to keep them as big as possible, because if I just cut a little square, you're missing a lot of the beautiful detail of the fabric. So this is kind of my methodology. Do a 2 by 2 with each little fabric section and kind of just go from there, because that's about what I estimated with my pattern pieces of how big I need these panels to cut out. So I'm probably gonna piece them together and play with them a bit, because I have like different amounts, because I think I only have 2 of this blue, 2 of this purple, like 6 of this red, and they're all different patterns as well. I just kind of matched them by like background color. So this is going to be very, very experimental. So yeah, this is the pattern I'm going to be using in the women's size, because I've made a poly satin one out of this and I really liked it. I don't need it to be fancy because the fabric's going to do all the heavy lifting for that. So just a nice, simple little robe. Again, very experimental. We're going to see what I come up with after finagling all these pattern pieces. Okay, I just put 2 little fabric samples with each other with my front pattern piece. I am definitely gonna have to add another little section there and there, so it will still be 2 by 2. And the actual robe will be slightly shorter than the actual pattern piece of how it's meant to be. But I'm a short person, so that's not the end of the world for me. I measured it against myself and it should be fine. So I'm going to continue playing with these pieces and seeing how good they line up with each other. Ignore the dehumidifier. I thought it had turned off for a bit, but then it turned back on. That's why I turn it off when I try to record. Current game plan for the front sections. This is about what it's looking like for one front panel. Some of this will be cut off. And then the other little front panel. Okay, the next little step is these little sticky bits. I'm gonna try and peel them off naturally, but we'll see. I might need to use soap and water, but I'm gonna try the harder method, just in case. I'm gonna have to do this with all of these pieces. Get as much fabric as possible. It's possible, but it's gonna take quite a bit of time. And there goes the dehumidifier again. See, it is possible. You just gotta be patient. So I'm gonna do this to all of my front pieces and then sew them all together, and I'll show you what that looks like. This is the current damage of removing all the labels. We got some mostly whole pieces and a bunch of tiny pieces. Pretty good so far. Okay, I got my 2 front pieces, my back piece, and then 2 little sleeve pieces, all fabric sewn together. I think front 2 pieces are ready to cut, the sleeves are ready to cut, but I think the back is slightly too narrow, so I have another thing of fabric that I'm gonna cut either in half or in fourths. I need to check again to see how much width-wise I need, and then I'll cut out the back piece. I'm also gonna use whatever fabric's left over and cut out the loops to put on the sides. I've also been keeping track of how much of these little fabric bits I've used, and including this piece I'm about to add on, I'm at 16. So now I need to get to cutting. Oh, also how I sewed these together was that I serged all the edges together to keep as much fabric as possible, and then I did basically like a faux felled seam to make sure everything stayed in place. And then I did that horizontally, vertically, all that. Ignore the dehumidifier in the background. So I cut out my front pieces, got them all serged, got this attached, cut out my sleeves, and I sewed these little pieces to what is going to be the back piece. Decided to cut it into fourths because I really didn't need that much. So in total I've used 16 of these little pieces. I got real lucky with the back that these are all the same pattern, just with different background colors. And I think that's gonna look really nice. So next I'm going to cut out the back piece, sew the front and back piece and the sleeves. And how this is done, it's you sew it only at the shoulder seams and then you attach the sleeves. And I'm kind of debating if I wanna do a little red pop of color for the finishing on the neckline and the sleeves and the bottom hem, just to give it a pop of color since I have a lot more of that red. I don't know. Assembly first, then decisions later. I did a little test on the sleeves of like this pop of red color after I stitched the entire robe together, and I kind of like it. So I'm gonna finish stitching the main body of the robe, and then I'm gonna do the red facing all along the neckline and the hem. And then all that's left is the actual belt, which I'm thinking I can make out of this purple and blue pieces. We're getting real creative and experimental. I do have some of this left over that I don't know what I'm gonna do from the front panels. I don't know. They're there if I need them. I took a break from filming yesterday and just finished the rest of the robe, so this is what it looks like. I'll try it on and show you in better lighting. And I did the blue and purple little ties, and I really like it. I'm very proud of how it turned out. So this is the robe. I just hit a thing. And of course, as I'm filming, the dehumidifier turns back on. So part of the reason why I decided to vlog this is because I wanted to show how to upcycle your things and make things that may have otherwise been thrown in the trash, because these have been hoarded for goodness knows how long, and I already had to get rid of a lot of them because there were a lot of them. And I just wanted to make something nice out of them because it's still good fabric and I really just didn't want to waste it. And I guess the moral of the story is upcycle things, use things. It doesn't matter if it's just all patchwork and there's like random things here and there, because you never know what you can create out of something that may have not been viewed as significant, you know? This project was very experimental. This was just a go with the flow type of thing, but now I have a robe with shorter sleeves and a shorter hemline, and I'm very proud of what I have created. So I hope you enjoyed. Hopefully more chaotic creations come soon. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye.